Kludge movie.
What's up, guys? Today we are going to be talking all about how to play Brava, the new operator coming to Year 8 Season 1 Commanding Force. So we're going to be talking all about Brava today and her Kludge Drone, best way to use Brava, her best loadout, and overall, is Brava good? Let's get to it. Starting with her loadout, this should be pretty simple and straightforward. So I'm going to be rocking the 1.5 with the extended barrel, getting the damage over the 50 bump. I mean, you can use flash hider or extended, but I like to have it just do a little bit more damage so you can really two tap the 3 speeds running around. And vertical grip, because angle grip doesn't help too much. So boom. And then here is the Bucks DMR. I don't recommend using that when this gun is sitting right next to it. Definitely gonna lean on this a little bit. And then you have the super shorty or the USP pistol. I mean, pistols generally are kind of mid, and this is not really going to save your life. But this is going to open up another realm for you with utility and being able to open up that soft destruction without having to ask a teammate to come over to help you. Because again, you don't have a breaching charge or any type of actual breach, so a super shorty will be able to open up a breach or open up a hatch for you and your team. And you have smoke grenades or claymores. Honestly, both are decent. It really depends on the situation. If you plan on droning a little bit longer, claymores aren't bad, especially with Solus running around. And smokes if you're playing more for plant or a kind of a rush kind of situation. Now let's talk about Brava's utility, the Kludge Drone. So you're able to take enemy utility like you guys are seeing there. You're able to just click the enemy utility and you will take it, but your drone has to stay alive during that entire phase or won't be able to take that utility. And you will get 3 full charges to take enemy utility. You can take anything that would be, let's say, electronic or would have, like, I can go through all the utility you can take, but you can't take like mechanical things like, let's say, a Goyo canister or a frost mat. But like Elemine, Capkin traps, cameras, all that you can take, and it doesn't do damage to people. So the most effective way to use Brava with her drones is once you get into the map, going through and taking utility that the defenders really don't want you to have. Like, let's say, like in comp, you would take like bulletproof cameras, Maestro cams, anything that like defenders will use to gather more intel. So like here, I'm like purposely going for the Capkin traps. This is gonna be really strong in ranked. You take Capkin traps, so like let's say I take these 2 Capkin traps, see how long that bar takes. I take those 2 traps. Let's say someone rotates up white, they're gonna hit those Capkin traps, and yeah, they're gonna end up TKing. So during a really easy kill. So I took those other 2 Capkin traps on the side, so those are watching my flanks, and these ones are kind of watching a blind rotate. One of the downsides to the Brava's drone is that sometimes the defenders just aren't gonna have any utility for you to take, and they're gonna be wandering around looking for something that you can grab, but there's just nothing there. Electronics that you can take, like the level shield, rook armor. I believe there's a zombie in the back. There's just nothing here. Barbed wire, nothing for me to take. So definitely going to have to really plan out when you're using Brava. Like if you're playing a team that relies heavily on, let's say, intel cameras, or like you just keep hitting Capkin traps, and honestly it'll be strong, but like it's gonna be I'm gonna pick this to counter this, not just like a, let's say, an Iana or an Ash pick. I'm picking this operator because I want to run around and shoot. Brava does have a really good gun though with this para, but the entry utility is going to be a lot lower. Look at those body shots. All you need is a couple shots with this gun. So here's how most rounds are going to play out while you're playing Brava. I like to bring claymores so I can just sit outside a window and use my drone, and I'm going to go gather intel as much as I can using my drones, because I'm going to have 2 Kludge drones as well as 2 normal drones, so you are gathering a lot of intel for your team. You can take the alibi, but remember you only have a couple charges, so like here there's not really much of a reason for me to take an alibi clone. And just like I said, sometimes there's just nothing for you to take, so when there is nothing to take, you need to execute off the intel that you have. So I drone all this out. I'm like, okay, well, one at sight, maybe one in the back, take their cameras, and just start pushing. The drone itself does not have an unlimited range. You'll be able to tell when you are in range because you will have an indicator pop up on your screen that you are in range. But you can only take cameras, like default cams, when they're actively on it. And you are able to take a wide variety of utility, like I can take that Aruni gate, I can take the prox mine, you can take whatever you want, as long as it's electronic. So let's go through some operators that Brava counters fairly well. So operators like wall denial, like mute, bandit, and cade, you are able to take that utility. But the problem is that you have to stay alive as you do it. And a lot of times that utility is being watched by defenders. So Twitch is able to destroy the utility instantly, whereas Brava is going to take a second. So if you're trying to get purely things off the wall with Brava, it is going to be a little bit more tricky than, let's say, using Twitch. Twitch is a very similar operator to Brava in my eyes. Like, they both have good guns, they both have smoke claymore, and they both have extra drones. Honestly, they're both really strong as in intel gathering and just in terms of overall fragging power, but they do have different purposes. Like, Twitch is more for helping clear utility completely, and Brava is more for tricking the enemy team into thinking, what do we have control of still? So obviously another counter, I mean, Brava hard counters Capcan in my eyes, because like your defenders are going to be running around and hitting their own traps, and you're not going to know what's safe. Jaeger and Wamai, when you're throwing grenades and other utility, being able to just make your team, make the enemy think that they are still good to go as grenades start coming. And I believe, I've not tested this, but if they throw smoke grenades or nitros or impacts, the ADS and Wamai disc will be catching them. So that does come up with a lot of counterplay for smoke. Let's say you're playing Organ and smoke is playing elbow. You take a Wamai disc, he throws a smoke, and he just smokes himself off and won't be able to see anything. All right, another counterplay. I mean, Valkyrie, like being able to find the Valkyrie cameras and taking it for your own team, huge. I mean, you know, Nitro cams, another one, as well as Echo. Just taking the cameras. Like Brava, I think hard counters camera operators because you can take those cameras for yourself, and more intel equals more W's. Ella as well as Legion, I believe. Can't take Goyos. Lucy's, you can take the Banshees. You can take the Banshees and the Aruna Gates. So you can take Defender utility. And like, yeah, the Banshees will slow them down, and the Aruna Gates won't open for the defenders. Instead, it's going to hurt them. So, and most defenders don't have a lot of utility that they can just throw through the gate. They're going to either A, have to walk through it, or B, have to burn something that they have in their pocket, which is like most likely going to be a Nitro impacts. Thunderbirds you can take, but honestly, that's kind of why bother. Thorns are good to take. I mean, it might catch an enemy off guard, and you might get a free kill with that. And yeah, that's really all you can take. It has to be an electronic device. Remember, you can't take anything that is mechanical. I definitely see Brava being more of a B tier operator at her core, only because she is a more comp focused operator in terms of taking intel from the enemy in terms of cameras. So she's really strong in taking cameras and just denying Capcan traps. But other than that, like if you aren't playing like that, you are on your like, let's say you're playing ranks like the normal layman, you have a lot of, you have not that many, like in terms of like not many tools in your arsenal. I mean, you do have some soft destruction, but you're gonna have to rely a lot on your team to really do the lion's share of opening up everything, while you kind of look for any holes you might be able to exploit as Brava. I definitely see her getting some game time, but I don't think that she's an extremely strong operator unless it's a comp focused, like, and there's bulletproofs all over the place and a lot of intel. So overall, I mean, she's definitely better than these last two operators. So But yeah, Bravo I see as being more of a beatster operator, but she's definitely going to get some game time. And with that para with the extended barrel, that gun is nasty. The super short is nice for line of sight, so she's a gunner. I mean, she's a gunner, and she is a 3-speed operator, so you can't really go wrong with a 3-speed. Having a drone, just having more drones in general is always going to be a boon. Just really make sure that when you are using that drone, like if you are trying to just use the drone to take utility, that you are making sure what the enemy has prior to you pricking Brava. All right, guys, that is it for today. Make sure to drop a comment and subscribe for more. Let me know if I missed any points or you guys have any questions for me about the new operator. Yeah, and until next time, peace out.